Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Warren from the Paladin Journal, and this is going to be the video where I go into some details finally about what my hobby goals are going to be for this year 2025. I realize that this video, the timing is very late. This should have come out like a month ago, maybe like 40 days ago, but it just taken me some time to get some things lined up for it. And I do have the benefit now of having some really good models to show off as well for the armies that I want to talk about. And so that is what we're going to do here. Now, as you can see on the screen right now, there are three Space Marine characters. One is in some kind of green armor, one is in some kind of red armor, the other is in some kind of black armor. Now, if you've been following my content for a while, whether that's on YouTube or that's on any of my social media, especially Bluesky and Instagram, then you know what I'm talking about here. So the guy on the left, the green guy, that is a Salamander's captain. This is my version of Captain Pelas Mirsan, who was the captain of the second company during the Badab War. He was dispatched by the chapter master, and he basically took the entirety of second company with him, along with elements of some other companies. And he was one of the most noble heroes of the war, and also one of the most important characters for the second half of that war. In the middle, as you might have seen earlier today, at the time that this video goes live, is a converted Consul Moritat that I did for my Blood Angels army for Horus Heresy. This guy was painted up and kit bashed even for a paint a generic console challenge that a bunch of guys in my Horus Heresy group are doing, and we have already had a bunch of entries for it, and there's some more coming down the line, and the challenge is open until the end of March, after which they're probably gonna tabulate how well painted and how well built together the models have been. I don't have high hopes for it, but it's whatever. There are some really amazing painters and kit bashers and builders in the group, and I definitely do not hold a candle to any of those guys. But anyways, coming on to the third model, this is actually a test model I did for a new army that I want to start here, which is Raven Guard for Horus Heresy. So this guy in front of you, it's a tactical sergeant, and what I want to do with him, and even with Captain Pelas Mirsan, is have some kind of an icy base going. And the base on this guy took me quite a while to get done. I went back and forth a couple of times, putting on one paint and another paint, getting the approximate scheme down, not being happy with it, going back and doing it over again. So it's seen quite a bit of iteration on that front. But anyways, let's talk a little bit more about these three specific armies, because these are the three armies that I really want to focus on this year. So, like I said, the first guy, that's my version of Captain Pelas Mirsan. He has his ornate relic power sword. He has a special combi flamer, and as you can see, he's a bit of a fancy guy. He's more fancy than I usually do. So that fire effect on his cape, that is all freehand, took a lot of work. It's not as clean and as good as I wanted it to be, but I'm pretty happy. I think I got the gradients down really well on his cloak. I would say the most difficult part on this guy was actually getting those highlights on the black armor done. They look a little chunky, they look a little uneven, and I tried my best to clean them up as much as possible, but it just ended it in a way that I just couldn't get them down. It's mostly just a Celestra gray based coat with the highlights, with a little bit of Ulthuan gray here and there. And of course, he is also having this brazier of fire on his backpack, and he has this combi flamer, which has some kind of heat scoring on it. And of course, the sword that I did as a lava sword, just to go with the whole theme of him being a salamander and everything, and that it made sense for him to have a sword like that. So let's put it like that so you guys can actually see. So this is done with contrast. It's complete contrast, so that's Gracier base with Eandon yellow as a full base coat. Then doing gradients first with orange, using Griffon orange contrast, then using corn red, or the flesh terrors red, sorry, and then the final layer, which is thicker than it should have been. That is Black Templar. It should have been a little thinner, but it's like, might as well, So, anyways, the really cool thing about this guy, in my opinion, is that he is actually the 4th edition Space Marine commander that you used to get. I picked up the model sometime in 2018, maybe 2019, and it's been sitting for a while in my bits box. Basically, I didn't really do much for him for the Blood Angels I was building. And when this whole thing came out where the guys were like, okay, yeah, let's do a Badab War project, I was like, okay, this guy has a lot of possibilities. And this is like probably one of the most, it's the hardest model to get probably from the 4th edition plastics. Like he looks amazing, man. Just like everything about the model, especially the backpack with the eagles on it. It is so iconic for me, as someone who started off at that time, like towards the late months of 4th edition, going into 5th edition. I really love that model. He has the Salamander's shoulder pad that he has. It's 3D printed Mark II or Mark III, I think, shoulder pad that I got off Etsy, and the other one, it's something from my bits box, probably something from Vanguard Veterans or Stormguard Veterans or something. And of course, the Combi Flamers definitely from the refreshed, or not refreshed, I would say. That wouldn't be the right term. It's the redone Stormguard kit that has full plastic that came out, I think 10 years back or something. And, I had fun with the base a little bit. I think I did a really good job with it. And it's meant to be an icy base again, but it's not as strongly themed as the Raven Guard one. I should have done some dry brushing with white, some stronger dry brushing with white to kind of like bring out that icy theme. But Valhalla Blizzard technical paint, it takes care of a lot of things. So anyways, coming down to Mr. number 2, which is my Moritat. His name is Ignacio Cellar, and this guy was a lot of fun to put together. Now the thing is with this guy, so his body is a 3D printed scan or whatever, 3D printed champion approximation or something. I'm not sure what it was. I got it off Etsy, and it looks really good. The jetpack is also 3D printed. I'm not sure where exactly it comes from. I know the seller that I got it from sometime last year or the year before last, I think. But, the really fun thing was that the pose seemed really appropriate for what I wanted to do with him. So the goal for the idea with my Horus Heresy Blood Angels is that, they're all Seeds of Terra themed. So they're all on, some kind of like Imperial bases, and it's either city ruins or something, or all that industrial feel to them. And a lot of them are they're veterans of Cygnus, they're veterans of Imperium Secundus, and that's most of the story that is going into them. And with this guy, what I wanted to show was that he is down in the thick of it with some squad. In my head, it's some Dawnbreakers, and he's just blasting away at the enemy with his twin Infernal pistols. The problem with Horus Heresy 2.0 is that it doesn't really incentivize you to take shooting weapons on your characters, or even on dedicated melee units. It doesn't really incentivize you because of the reactions and everything that exist But this is the one guy where I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give him infernal pistols. He deserves to have infernal pistols. Just the idea of like a gunslinger character, and his rules are really good. He has a lot of really good shooting just natively. Doesn't matter whether he has a twin Volkite Serpenta or twin hand flamers or whatever. He is good, and infernal pistols are like the iconic um, armament of the Blood Angels. So it was a no brainer, seriously speaking. Now in his case, his infernal pistols, they come from the Death Company kit, and essentially, so as you can see here, the little X that you see on his arm, that's the Death Company infernal pistol. There you go. See. There you go. I had fun putting this guy together. He is very simple, as the whole body was just, it was one. Excuse me. It's all one part, and then I just slapped together a couple of arms on him, gave him a jetpack, gave him some shoulder pads, and that was pretty much it. But I gave him an extra uh, pistol to really focus on the fact that, oh yeah, this guy's a shooting guy, and so that's where he's fighting some Mechanicum traders, so that's why he has a Mechanicum Skitari helmet on his base to show that he's fighting some kind of a tech army on his own or something, or with his squad on the during the siege of Terra. Now the final guide, this is for Horus Heresy Raven Guard, like I said, and this is pretty much going to be an army that is going to end up being mostly 3D printed, because there's a particular creator on Cults 3D who does a lot of Raven Guard stuff, and it's amazing how much content he has out for these guys, and it's just mind-boggling. Like one of the really cool things about him is that just the bodies he has, they are so good. There is so much detail in his bodies. If you look, just look at that. So much detail on those legs. Even if you focus a little bit on that chest plate. Of course, the backpacks. His backpacks are amazing, man. There's so many variants he's done where it can be a chainsaw, it can be I think there's even one with a sniper rifle maybe, or combat knives, extra gear or whatever. And this guy, the backpack, it was actually supposed to have like some kind of a scanner thing on here, but when I was priming the model, the model unfortunately fell down and the thing broke, and I didn't realize it until I sat down to paint him, that evening. So that has been lost. But yeah, really fun to put together. The plastic arms were a bit of a pain to get right on him, but I made them work. So anyways, the idea of what I'm trying to do with these armies. So with the Salamanders guy, I want to have the full Salamanders company disposition from the Imperial Armor Badab War Part 2 book down there. It details pretty much every Marine that Captain Pelas Merson brought with him to the Badab sector, and it's almost a full battle company with additional elements, and I really want to recreate that. And that's going to be the goal for the year. I have a lot of firstborn stuff that I'm already assembling together as a collection before start painting or start building them, excuse me. And the idea is to use as many firstborn plastics as possible, where the bodies are concerned, where the arms are concerned, the weapons are concerned, and so on and so forth, because I really want to focus on that aspect. this is going to be an amazing first one project for me. And it's going to be weird because I'm already in the middle of doing a first one battle company for my Blood Angels for 40k, and now I'm taking on this as well. So it's going to be a lot of work to, get all those things down and lined up, but I'm super excited for it. I think as a test model, Pelos Mirsan, he really came together very well. I like the basing scheme that I ended up going with. I like the painting scheme I have on him. Would probably make some changes on him, like giving him some highlights with moot green on top of all the green armor, so it helps stand him out better. But as it is, I think it's like they just need to be table ready. My idea with my painting is not to really focus on the models as a display thing. It's more that I just want to do a good job of with the basics and try highlights where I feel comfortable. And I could just come back to him at some point later and just add those green highlights on him, which I think would probably make him look much better than he's right now. Just the way highlights work in general. Now with the Blood Angels. So I have a 3,000 point army list in mind. This guy doesn't fit into that because he was made for a challenge that we started like this year, or we put together the details towards the end of last year. So he doesn't really fit in the army, but he has a jetpack. I'm going to be building some Dawnbreakers. I do have some already built, but they are mostly like hacked together models, because they're just like first one models with the Mark 7 jump packs and kit bash weapons or whatever, which I don't think look good. So I have some Tortuga bodies for those guys, some Tortuga jump packs, and some other 3D printed weapons I got off Etsy last year. So that's all how I'm gonna do those guys, and they're all gonna go together with him. And I have quite a bit of the at least a 2,000 point army done. A lot of elements done. I need to focus on some characters this year, some more units, and hopefully I can finish that army this year, and that would be really nice. Now, where the Raven Guard come in, like I said, I was super excited to start this project for this year. I have a lot of things that are already in the pipeline for these guys. 30 bodies, 4 characters. 2 of them are characters from the lore, like Brand Nev and Agapito Nev. And I have a couple other generic characters to do. And I'm going to be building so much this year, getting more 3D printed parts in, because I really want to take advantage as much as possible for all the stuff that this one particular creator has put out. And this is why I love the hobby, the building aspect. And I've mentioned so many times on socials and whatever, I'm growing more and more accustomed to getting things painted, just to help things stand out. As you can see here, there's 3 different legions basically represented here, with 3 different basing schemes as well. Need to refine that this year, like for the Salamanders, for the Raven Guard. I also have, I don't want to show it because the model is primed black and it wouldn't look good on video right now, but I'm starting a 40k Salamanders army as well this year, and it's going to be fully Primaris. I have a character already built, and it's a female Space Marine. I managed to source some female heads late last year, and they finally came in towards the end of the year. So that was a huge relief. And I don't have much in the way of bodies for that army right now. I need to buy a lot of stuff this year for them and in the coming years. And it's just going to be a very, very slow grow army. I'm not going to rush it. I don't need to rush it. I have already these 3 armies to focus on for this year in the main. And, that is pretty much it on that front. Other than these 3 particular armies, the stuff I want to focus on is, like I said, my first one battle company for Blood Angels. That I got the idea, really percolating for a while, and then a friend on Twitter was doing the same thing for his Ultramarines, and that gave me the push. I pinned it up 20 tacticals, need to get more done. The entire battle company is finished. All the 100 and 108 infantry models are all done, built. 20 of them are painted. Need to get some more painted this year. I'm aiming to get 40 guys done this year because combined with the Heresy Blood Angels, it's a lot of red. And, when I'm doing a lot of red like that, I just start to zone out of the hobby. So, need to change that. So, anyways, guys, that's pretty much those armies. Other armies I have on the back burner for this year. They're gonna be carried forward from last year. Uh, some Death Watch stuff, some Chaos Space Marine stuff, some Churnit stuff even, and more than that, I'm actually not sure what I want to do. For October this year, I'll probably work on this combat patrol that I have from a few years ago. That one needs to get done at some point. And I have so much stuff for Sororitas and Necrons and Daughters of Cain and other stuff. It's like I really went overboard with my armies when I came back into the hobby in 2018 and 19. And before the pandemic, I assembled this huge collection of plastic, and all of that slowly needs to get done. And as you can see, I added 3 armies this year. So that it all takes focus away from those things. But what I'm really excited about is my heresy stuff and all the first point stuff I want to do for 40K. And I think it's that is bringing the love of the hobby back to me. It is something that I found out I really missed last year, and slowly painting everything up, from my from homebrew white scars and everything, that has slowly brought me back up to a level of, self hype and self interest in that way, and it's what's keeping me going right now. I'm really not playing World of Warcraft that much anymore. Well, one, the game is not as fun as it used to be for like the last 2 or 3 expansions for me. And, just like with everything going on in my real life, I don't have time to split my focus that way. I just want to focus on my video content. I want to focus on my hobby stuff and just everything else that is going on. So that is pretty much the video from me, and hope you like seeing this glimpse of some part of the hobby that I'm doing. And I promise I'm gonna have a lot more stuff down the line this year. Like, I'm really excited about all these projects, and I want to show off. Like, I built Brand Nev and Agapito Nev. I have built those models, or versions of those models that this one particular 3D modeler did on cults. And the models, I have them right now in my hands. I can kind of show you, I guess. That's Agapito, and that's Bran. He's missing an arm. It came off while I was priming, so it is separate. And you know what? I guess I'll show you the FSM character that I did. So you can't see her face clearly, I believe, but suffice to say that she is no less iconic than any of the other characters. And so this is going to be a captain. I did a test model for 40K Salamanders last year. The scheme was non-standard, so I'm calling them a homebrew chapter, Storm Dragons. But I'm not too happy with the scheme, so with her, I might do something different. But suffice to say, I have so much stuff that I really want to do this year that has me really excited to hobby each and every month. And I want to make progress on every single thing, every single month. I think it's the best way to keep myself motivated, to keep myself going. And, with so much stuff to do, you're never bored. That's really important thing, right? So anyways, that's it for me, guys. Thank you for sticking around so far, and hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a good look at all this stuff. Like I said, there's going to be a lot more coming down the pipeline in the coming months. I'm saying months because I'm not sure I could, do frequent weekly or bi-weekly, whatever, hobby videos. But suffice to say that I have a lot of stuff to plan this year, and I would really want to show off all the really cool bits and pieces that I'm doing for everything, like my Land Raider project and all of that stuff. So there's so much more cool stuff to come. So be sure to stick around and check it out when it goes up. Thanks, guys. Bye.